Let me let me tell you about my friend Bill Riem, who is in the audio industry. I think he's retired now, but he may be working with I think he's working with a drum company. But I've known Bill Riem since the '80s, and he was in a band called Modern Cities, and they used to rehearse at Third and Brown, uh, and the band that I worked with, the Idle Rich, rented all the rooms in that place. And that's where I met him. And at that point, Bill was dating the bass player, uh, Lon, from the Idle Rich, and I got to meet Bill. But through the years, we became really good friends. And at that point, Bill, I think he was just started, or he was working for Hoshino, which is Ibanez guitars and Tama drums, and he was a graphic design artist there. So he was responsible for the catalogs and the photo shoots and that. So once he got involved with that company with Hoshino, he was the primary guy. I mean, he headed the team there of giving the image of Ibanez. So I believe a lot of the success that Ibanez has and Tama has is because of Bill Riem, uh, because of the whole imagery. I mean, every time they had the NAMM show for the Ibanez guitar booth and the Tama guitar booth, he had to come up with a new concept, and he was heavily involved in the guitar developments and the drum developments, and he had his finger in all the pies there, and he worked there for a long time, and he eventually got to the point where they made him president of the company, and this was unheard of, to have a non-Asian person running Hoshino. I mean, he made a huge amount of trips back and forth to Hoshino. I think they're in Japan, but he also had to visit the guitar manufacturers and that. But just the nicest guy in the world. And I remember the very first the very first NAMM show I went to. I was with Bill, and we were just walking, and he couldn't go more than 5 feet without somebody stopping to talk to him. I just didn't realize he was just my friend, and I didn't realize how powerful a person he was in that industry. And he's one of those guys that if I ask him to come over for a barbecue or something like that, he's too busy to do it. But if I call him up and I say, "Hey, Bill, I need to move this couch, and I need some manpower over here," he'd come over in a second. That's the kind of guy he is. Just the nicest. And if you met him, just very soft spoken, and just a gem of a person. But he worked at Hoshino, I think maybe 30 years or 40 years, and eventually he retired. And like I said, I think he's working for a drum company, but he may not be working. But we talk every so often. He was in my wedding party. When I got married in 1992. But nice guy. And I'm hoping maybe one day I can interview him and he could tell some stories about the guitar industry and the drum industry. Like one story that I know, that one year for NAMM, they had this huge Godzilla monster made. I mean, it was gigantic, and I think it blew steam out of its nose, and it was at the Ibanez booth, just to attract attention. There was no tie-in other than it was just to attract attention. But they got in trouble because they were not allowed to use the likeness of Godzilla, so that whole thing had to be destroyed after the show, and they weren't allowed to use that anymore. But that was if you ever went to the NAMM show and saw that Godzilla thing, that was kind of the backstory to that. So there's a little backstory on my friend Bill Riem. Great guy, and pretty powerful person in the audio industry. And I do not, and I truly believe this, I do not believe Ibanez and Hoshino and Tama would be the company it is if it wasn't for Bill Riem. So there you go.